Hi there, welcome back. Yesterday I made a video about the two eclipses, one tomorrow, a solar eclipse, and one on the 21st, a lunar eclipse. And I need to clear some points up and also add some information. So there's a lot to look at and I'm going to try and remember everything. Okay, so this is right now. Let's go and have a look straight away at the two charts. So this is tomorrow. So what we have to know is for the past 18 months, North Node, opposite nodes is always in the house and sign opposite. So North Node has been in Cancer for the past 18 months. And it will leave Cancer on the 7th of March. And go into Gemini. Now, North and South Node are transparent, invisible points on the chart, and they represent where the path of the Moon and the Sun cross, and they hold very important. They're considered to be malefic. They're difficult. The South Node, they talk about karma. So the North Node is in Cancer and the South Node is in Capricorn. They've been there for the past 18 months. And the South Node is very much responsible for areas of our lives that we played in our past life. And we don't want to let go, and we don't want to go into the North Node, which is where we're meant to be going. We're meant to be going in this life. So and they are always traveling backwards. These two nodes are always moving in the other direction to the planets. Okay, so the planets are moving around this way, and North and South Node are moving backwards. So exactly, it will, when this North Node moves into Gemini, and these two eclipses are finishing off this 18-month period, and they're also finishing off from 9/11. In the coming year, we will be exactly 18 years when the last time Rahu and Ketu were in Gemini and Sagittarius. So this is very much looking, maybe even, for 2020, some kind of 9/11 event, which is all in the building and all in the works now, astrologically speaking. Also, we finish an 1851 to 2020 cycle of a wave dance between Pluto and Saturn in the sky. They began a journey on the 23rd of September 1851, which has been very much the last steps of all the wars that we've had and all this technological century of bringing us into the four realms closed, the four corners closed, the four continents. They're all joined now. We've got Asia, Africa, Europe, and now America. The four continents represent the four parts of our brain. They represent the spider of life, the flower of life. The web of life is the electromagnetic charge that we self-create when we have merged our 7 chakras. We're no longer being remote controlled by exterior forces. We become the inner glowing force. So this is absolutely, as I said yesterday, where we are, because Pluto and Saturn are responsible for this last step of lead to gold. And the last step of this cycle that we're on, 25,500 years, as I've said in my other videos, we are leaving these last 20 years of Pluto in Sagittarius. Saturn is in Sagittarius since last year, and they both move in 2020 into Capricorn. So these are the last chances for the Jupiterians who've been ruling the wheel since, since the creation of God created light from the 9th house Sagittarius, and we're just leaving 12th house Pisces, both ruled by Sagittarius. So he needs to get brownie points because Saturn will recult in a very, very stern way, which is everything we're seeing with these, last rights that will be taken away from us. That, we think we're being led in under the rainbow, but we're being led into total clampdown, and very much a reflection of the 9th house Sagittarius energy that we see in Saudi Arabia. So these two planets will be ending in 2020 a journey, and in 9/11 they were bang opposite each other in Gemini and Sagittarius. Saturn was opposite Pluto, and that's when the 9/11 Twin Towers came down. The Twin Towers representing they don't want us to find gold, to join our 23 DNA strands and leave the material realm. And if we don't detach from the belief programs, which is all about Sagittarius, we cannot find that inner discipline to face our fears, that it's possible that, this is just an illusion, this is just limbo, this isn't where we pass through to decide whether we're worthy to live and experience a twin peak last age. That's what the Bible is talking about. The 144,000 people only will make it through into the twin age, because the sun moves 72 degrees per age. So we're moving into Aquarius and then into Capricorn. That is the twin peak age, both ruled by Saturn. So if we haven't done the inner journey, we will live the hell of, all those who've chosen to go on the down spiral, because it's, that magic, the missing crystal, only we can replace it, only we can awaken our third eye. And these are the last chances. So things are going to get really hairy now, because that's the only way we can see through, is through shock. Because if you're too afraid to have to, if you haven't suffered those emotional shocks within this life, then you just might not be ready. Maybe you really do have to live this robotic, completely inorganic world we're being moved into. Maybe that's the experience you wanted, but all those of you ready, it's time to click out. So this is what I didn't mention. I also didn't mention that having North and South Node for the past 18 months in Cancer and Capricorn, these two, Cancer and Capricorn, normally Capricorn is at the top of the wheel, Cancer is at the bottom of the wheel. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it normally occupies the 4th house, and it sits next to Leo, that normally occupies the 5th house, which is ruled by the sun. So moon, sun are the powers that have made us believe that the twin peaks is the moon and the sun, when twin peaks is opposite in the 10th and 11th house, which is normally Capricorn here and Aquarius here. We move out of Pisces and we'll be moving into Aquarius. This is all the chart of today. So on a original wheel, Aries always begins here, the cardinal cross opposite Libra, with Cancer down here and Capricorn up here. So at the moment, this chart here for tomorrow is actually all inverse, which is brownie points to them too. So making us think that the moon is on the top of the wheel, because this is where this eclipse is happening. It's happening, you know, right on this mid-heaven point and of the cardinal cross. So, you know, these past 18 months have been playing very much on the cardinal cross, and very much between those energies of the mother and the father. Capricorn represents the father figure and Cancer represents the mother figure. Cancer was the age of the floods. Cancer represents destruction. Capricorn represents where we're going. It's creation. And from 2020, Saturn and Jupiter will be meeting here. And this is why these last preparations of being able to turn lead to gold. Many of us have done this. Many of us have spun our own wheels. We've spun our own gold, made straw to gold. And many of you, this is really my way of trying to show you, as above, so below. This is it. We're right at it. So the issues that we've been having these past 18 months have been very much about finding our home within our inner temple, Cancer energy. This is where Rahu is. But many people are still stuck in the father energy of, you know, governments having people rule over us and not taking responsibility, still in this destructive force of Cancer. So either people have been, you know, taking the time to heal within, find their safety within their own inner temple, knowing that the gates we're walking through are not the pillars of the sun and the moon, Freemasonry and religion. Those inner temples are within us. You know, Matthew 23 says that there will be no need for the sun and the moon, but we're being led into a fake Jerusalem. It says that when we find the Lamb, our lamp will be lit. So it's really finding that innocence, that you know, Cancer is the mother, it's nurturing, but it's also the young child, it's still in development. And that female nurturing energy is everything that we're losing. Virgo is, we're moving out of Pisces opposite Virgo, and we're really ending that high priestess alchemical ability that the young virgin has and that we all possess within us. You know, we're here to become material alchemists before we can become spiritually able to walk into this twin peak age. So we're leaving that cardinal energy, and North Node Rahu will be moving into Gemini from the 7th of March, and Ketu will be in Sagittarius, joining this energy that Pluto's ending 20 years of, and Saturn and Pluto are now conjunct. The last time that they were in major conversation together was the opposition during 9/11. So, you know, we've had all those years from 2001 till now. That's 18 years to 2019. That's 18 years. Rahu Ketu spend 18 months in a sign, and it takes them 18 years to make a journey of the wheel. And they are responsible for all the eclipses along the way. So that means that this is very much a finalization of all the eclipses between 2001 and now. And because of this twin peak energy of Gemini, we can expect maybe a double, you know, and it's in retrograde at the moment, which is, you know, repeats. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can go and look at. This video of 9/11, as above, so below.
A highly destructive one, an opposition. Let us begin by looking at the planet Saturn. Saturn and its astrological symbolism is that of the planet of form and structure. It is also known as the planet of materialistic power. Saturn, on 9/11, was in the sign of Gemini, the twins. Gemini also represents multiplicity. Now let us consider Pluto. Pluto represents destruction and transformation. Pluto on 9/11 was in the sign of Sagittarius, the sign of religion, the sign of foreign cultures and long-distance travel. Is the planet of structure in the sign of the twins enough to give us an as above, so below reflection? Is Pluto in the sign of religion enough to give us the as above, so below reflection on 9/11? Are the Illuminati, with their worship of astrology, their obsession, their fixed?
You see, the fake arc, Alpha, Omega, this is the temple of the Freemasons, is an inverted arc. They have Cancer at the top, and this is exactly where the eclipse is. In Cancer, on that mid-heaven, it's right at the top of the arc, with an inversed Libra, Omega, and Aries over here. You know, let's carry on watching this. This is the sun and the moon temple. The Bible says that we will have no need for the sun and the moon, for our inner lamb will have become our lamp.
Fixation with all things Egyptian, still performing occult ritualistic sacrifices of as above, so below connotations? Or do you believe in magic? We ask the question, was there something more to 9/11 than we have been led to believe?
Okay, let's come back. So, at that time, Saturn was opposite, and that now they are conjunct. So this is our moment, all of us who've been paying attention. This is the limiter's test. If you haven't gone on the journey to join dots, you won't be ready for this opportunity to turn lead to gold. So, you know, the other point is that Mars is still in Pisces at this time. Uranus is currently retrograding from Aries back into Pisces after having spent 7 years. So for the past 7 years, none of us have had a very good action, because Mars is our ego, it's our sexual drive, it's our virile action, and it burns the Bunsen burner of our bottom chakra. And most people have been trapped in this new age energy of believing, because Pisces represents I believe. It's also Jupiter rules Pisces and Jupiter rules Sagittarius as well. So people haven't been able to use this aggressive planet, and we're running out of time. We've only got another year till the 2020 conjunction. We've got another 2 years actually, and that will be the peak of our giving birth process. So when Mars moves back into Aries, which will be around the same time that Ketu and Rahu move into Gemini and Sagittarius, by the time that happens, this aggression, as I said yesterday, it's a little bit like walking out of a fog, a trance. It's like, what happened to the last 7 years? Where was I? how could I have still been so unable to see clearly? Because Pisces represents this age that we're leaving, this past 2,200 years, and the past 1,700 years, we've been kept stuck on the wrong precession of the equinoxes, on the wrong constellation. So people are going to be really waking up to this. And we've had Jupiter and Mercury and now Venus all in Scorpio, which talks about the kiss of Judas. And it accentuates Pluto and Mars, because Mars rules Scorpio and Pluto is also associated with Scorpio. It's our unconscious mind. It's about going into the depth of the underworld and really owning our shadow. So this square that Mars is making at this time to Mercury, who's just moved into Sagittarius, but he was in Scorpio here, where Jupiter and Venus still are. They will be conjunct for the next lunar eclipse. And Mercury, all this is, Mercury is conjunct during this eclipse. So this is our mind, it's how we think. And that aggression is going to start getting ready, which is everything that the powers want for this revolution and for this yellow coat. Sorry, just putting some wood on my fire. Yeah. Yes. So this will help with the Jupiter energy. Yes, so as I was saying yesterday, this is all about the Sultans of Swing. This is all about Islam. This is all about, even if all religion over the next years is wiped out, that doesn't mean that the underground current of the singularity of bringing these fake religions that have run the past 2,200 years, they can be brought together to wherever we are in our belief programming and in our thinking. They know that when Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter are all going to move into Capricorn, that is that, complete father authority figure. And if we haven't found that within, we will still be able to be taken over by, yet again, more authority figures, be it science, be it philosophy, be it government, be it Hollywood, be it entertainment, be it the celebrities that everyone looks up at. These are the stars. This is the guitar of our soul. This is the knowledge that we should now be ready to come into. We wouldn't need astrology, we wouldn't need religion, we wouldn't need all these spiritual outlets if we were able to see that in order to have a material body, we have to be tuned in by some form of frequency. And the planets are telling us that frequency. Okay, so this solar eclipse, that means it's a new moon. So, not only is this a new month's energy, but it's a whole 6 months new energy. Sagittarius, foreign countries, expansion. It's on a personal level. If we detached from belief programs, it's great for our own inner joy and expansion and sense of adventure and waking up that nomad gypsy desire to learn, desire to expand. And with this lovely sextile to Neptune, that's just come out of being retrograde in Aquarius. Neptune is here for 14 years. Neptune is our imagination, and this is Aquarius is again, the twin peaks with Capricorn, and this is the energy that we're moving into from Pisces to Aquarius, the 11th house. So it's great for all the people who have detached and who you will gain great insights and you'll be able to see really clearly. And those of you ready, Uranus is making a lovely trine to your emotional body and to how you think in Mercury. So, you know, it's time for you to have an explosion in your thinking. This is also, you know, so much could happen. We could lose internet because Uranus is sudden shocks, and Mercury is everything to do with communication, and this eclipse is between Gemini and Sagittarius. So we can see lots of changes in forms of travel, maybe some kind of pilot show, maybe the famous Blue Beam project, you know, fake aliens, you know, and something to do as well with Cancer, the water bodies in this triangle, which is going between the water signs of Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, flooding, some kind of beast to come out of the sea to open the air, the age of Aquarius air, from water to air. You know, all this is the underground energy for the next months to come. 7th of March is the day that Rahu Ketu change. 14th of February we have Jupiter and yeah, I've got a 14th of February here. Yeah, that's the 14th of February. Is that the 14th of February? Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be the Mars-Uranus conjunction. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, it's on the 21st, sorry, that these two are going to be kissing. Yeah, I'll show you that. We'll get that one ready too. Okay, they're all here now. Right. So what was I saying? Now, going back a little bit to this ability to be a weaver. In French, a weaver is a tissier, which is very much like Tesla. And we're moving now into the mutable cross with Rahu that will move on the 7th into Gemini. This is a last eclipse on this Cancer Capricorn energy. If you haven't, you know, as I was saying, got over the father figure, if you haven't left this father figure Ketu and your own self-nurturer, because Cancer is destruction, but it's also that nurturing ability to nurture yourself, to nurture oneself, to feel safe in your inner temple, to not be walking through the temple of the sun and the moon, but into your own invisible interior. So we're going to be moving into mutable. Now, the mutable cross is Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. Sagittarius and Pisces are ruled by Jupiter. This is the Michael Jackson Club. They rule the mutable binary cross. This is why we're kept in duality mentality. When we come back to the Twin Peaks, we will come back to our original androgynous state, no longer under the influence of ego and sexual desire and material desire and obsession with our flesh body. We will be free to manifest in abundance, but we can't get there. All this new age, people have activated their Mars, but their Mars has been in Pisces for the past 7 years, so it's not a real burning, purifying. Mars is going to enter Aries, and that's going to purify. That means that you can really get raw, especially after all these conjunctions in Scorpio. Mars also rules Scorpio. This energy will come into effect as Mars moves into Aries for the next 2 months, and Uranus will be there. That will be conjunct to Uranus, and Uranus will be there for 7 years over the house of judgment, over the house of Omega. So the mutable cross is the energy of where we're going to be for the next 18 months, and it will end on the 23rd of September 2020, which is where all this began. And I do have to show you this. I think it's hidden under here. It's hidden under here. Oh, great, I got it. So 1851-2020, Synodic Astrology, the Saturn-Pluto Synodic Cycles. And this is a great article to go and have a look at. It shows the journey from 1851 to 2020, their oppositions, when they're conjunct. So here it began on the 23rd of September. And we've got in Biarritz the G set, G7, in Biarritz, and it begins on the 24th of August, so they'll be able to do their big ritual all together on the 23rd, and it begins on the 24th. So this will be very much the ending. I have spoken in great detail in my articles often. I live in the 32nd apartment in France, where the labyrinth of Pan is on the Church of Saturna, of Saturn, because this is when our brain, the labyrinth, the four corners are 4 times 8, and 2 twice 32 is 64. So we're being taken into an artificial merging for all those who haven't found the gates out of this illusion. Okay, we're told the whole time. I couldn't believe it when I saw this was happening in Biarritz. And it's where the Virgin Mary stands to end Europe. She stands on the Atlantic Ocean. She also stands in Las Vegas, where we had all these attacks. 13 people killed, represents the Last Supper. And Venus, can I show you Venus? I'm going to show you my Petronella Facebook pages, because I've written many posts, because it's all happening. If I can show you a few of these posts, let's start in the beginning. So Marianne's symbol is the symbol of the French Revolution. Okay, Marianne represents liberty, equality, and fraternity. That is 777. I'll show you. This is an article. I'm going to just jump, and this was an article in famous French magazine that comes out every week. Michael Jackson n'a jamais cherché à paraître comme quelqu'un de normal. So they have an article about Michael Jackson because they know we're about to come into this opposition of Sagittarius and Gemini ruled by Mercury and Jupiter. And there you have a picture of Michael Jackson as the last horseman. This is the Apocalypse white horseman, the unicorn, the last corner closed. Okay, this post is again just Google showing us the barber pole. This is the red and white barber pole. This is Où est Charlie with the barber pole. The barber pole represents Libra, the scales of wisdom, the scales of the snake, and the story of Moses, who says, look to the pole, to the snake on the pole for the wisdom. You have to go and find this hidden wisdom. This is, again, in England we have Where is Willy? In France they have Where is Charlie? This is Willy Wonka, the barber pole. This is all representing the Sultans of Swing. It's the image of Mercury, the snake on the pole. Michael, Mercury, Mick Jagger, Michael Jackson. This is Moses saying, look to the snake on the pole. This is the sign of the marine, of what we're entering in France, liberté, égalité, fraternité, ou la mort. As I was saying yesterday, the far fascist leader in France, Marine Le Pen, will now have her time. It could be her or her daughter. They're both called Marianne or Marion, so we're still in this Marianne energy. As they will lead us into this Sultan of Swing energy under their disguise. Something might happen to Macron. I mean, he will certainly go, and he'll be crucified because he represents Jesus. We should be entering the Twin Peaks, ready to return to gold. The Twin Peaks, they went down. Male and female went down. That is, you see, there's always a sense of truth to their rituals, so they know that we will go along with the flow, because we know deep down in our unconscious that we are entering the gates now, and that we become one again. So these inadequacies and this focus on black and white, because we leave the age of Pisces white and Virgo black, but we now enter Aquarius opposite Leo. Aquarius is red air and Leo is yellow fire. So it's the end of the black and whites. It's the end of male and female, because we should have found our inner male and female and no longer be driven by our sexual desires. We are the crossover generation. This is, an image of a chromosome. Saturn rules, is Kronos. He rules time. We should have escaped time. We should have escaped DNA. We have 33 vertebrae. 33 is crucifixion. 32 is a state of grace. 23 is either stuck in the flesh trap, and 2020 represents catch-22. Are you going to get it or not? This has just been set up in Serbia. Green, red, white flag, the same as the Prince of Wales. Willie is green, red and white. Also Biarritz, the Pays Basque, is red, white and green. And this is the dragon. The dragon bloodline want to take over the gullible humanity who didn't make it through the gates. Gypsies rule. This is the twist. This is the twirl. This is symbolizes the wheel, the wisdom of the snake, the three crosses, fixed, mutable, cardinal. This is LIBER 777. I think that we had on the 7th of November a black moon. 2018, we had on the 7th of December a black moon. And Rahu and Ketu move into Sagittarius and Gemini on the 7th. Is this it? Well, I mean, I know it is, but just how it's going to happen is for us to see. Again, égalité, liberté, fraternité is the sign of Libra. The scales, the wisdom. This is the pole on the snake. This is the snake on the pole. You should have found out the lost wisdom by now. Barber is the barber shop. They are related. These are the gypsies. This is the Sultans of Swing. This is like the chromosome. You know, this is the crossover. We are the 1968 children. We just left 2018. Are we all going to be Rosemary babies slaughtered? Yes, because they want to depopulate the planet, but it's not scary because we're just here to wake as many people up as possible, but we know we're going to be okay because we've got rid of all of our belief programs, so we won't be recycled back into this very low frequency of matter where people have to have belief programs. It's nothing to be afraid of. I just do this because whilst I'm alive in this realm, I may as well speak up about it because, you know, this is what we're all meant to be doing now. The Beatles represent when I'm 64, the 4 parts of our brain. And red-white represents from Pi rats, age of Pisces, into pilots, red, air, Aquarius. It's the red and white trap. They want to catch us as we pass over. That's why you had red pill, blue pill. You know, this is when we should be turning lead to gold, not remaining as lead. Okay. Yeah, I do just need to take you through a few posts because the Yellow Brick Road. These are some pictures I found in a 1968 Parry match, which speak very much. You see, this is the 50-year crossover generation, so it was very much in our minds in those days. 68, yellow, red, that represents Asia and America. Bipolar. Yeah, this is all to do with barbers. This is very much that period, 1918. This is talking the red, blue, white crossover generation. This was in 1968 programming for Asia and America. The Beatles with the LGBT rainbow. It's got his yellow. This is exactly what's happening now. The Lamb of God. You know, can you lie down as the lion with the lamb, or we will be slaughtered? Again, yellow and red. Cock. English people are considered the POM. I don't think English people realise what's about to hit with Brexit, the whole island being stuck on an island full of refugees with no food. You know, what's about to happen. Very much Eisenhower, he was part of the liberation, which is what's happening now. LIBER 777, Lucifer. This is Les Roses de Dallas vont devenir des fleurs de sang. The roses of Dallas, that's where the eclipse, the crossover eclipse was last year, warning us that the roses, that means English people, to become blood, flowers of, you know, blood. A little wink. I thought this was very telling. Who knew that Morocco is to oranges what France is to wine? Orange communication is 369. 369 is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius. You need the 4th house, Pisces, 12, to make the swastika spin, to learn how to spin, to learn about astrology, to know about astrology, not mainstream astrology. What a few of us are trying to pass this message. I only know of myself and Lavette, who got me to this level. You can find all Lavette's videos on YouTube. She's called Lavette. In French, that means people could think that means brainwashing, but Lavette is French, Indian American, so she has French roots, and as she has explained on YouTube, that will come from the chemist, the one who worked as an alchemist, so it actually has another meaning. But yes, we're the only people I know of really, you know, mixing astrology with the events of today and explaining how everything is happening. So this is, you know, Morocco, we've just had the Morocco Pact. And the Morocco star is the 5-pointed pentagram, which has taken away the rounded curves of the Fibonacci sequence flower of life that Venus makes in the sky. Okay, yeah, that's very much us, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to pause and come back. Okay, let's carry on. Pascal Paoli, Peter Pan, PP. We leave Pisces, Virgo, which is feminine, feminine, and we enter a PP, masculine, masculine. Feminine is magnetic, negative, negative, and we're going into a positive, positive PP. Okay, yeah, you see, La Vie Glorieuse d'Eisenhower, Le Libérateur, this is LIBER, and this is the energy that they want people to feel like they're the heroes, and they're bringing in liberty. This was very telling and rather scary. This is a French radio show called Pop, 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 very like our Mary Poppins, and this was a radio show where the invited personality, who's a very famous person in France, he's an actor, he had sent a texto to his friend Antoine de Caunes, moi, les Beatles, je les encule. That means I fuck the Beatles up the arse, basically. That's what encule means. So that means the four corners, over 64 megabytes. The Beatles represent 64, where the G7 Biarritz is, where the Virgin Mary stands. Mary Poppins, Clockwork Orange, this is the Pop Pop. This is the Pop Pop of that energy of revolution, madness, chaos, violence. This is a clip from the film of that actor that said je les encule, the Beatles. This was a clip from the film where we have the poppy, the roses, the English, and we have that 64 again at the end. There's also the 23, there's 233. Skull and Bones is Skull and Bones. Also BBC. It's you know, Skull and Bones is 322, and this is just backwards. This is the four corners. Or 42 represents Jupiter. And it also represents half of the cycle of Uranus, 84 years. 33, famous 33. 43 is 7, our chakras. So, and export, that for me is throwing all the English people out of France. And very much as well, this energy, by the way, Cancer is French and Saturn is English, and you know, Sagittarius is very much foreigners as we imagine, Sultans of Swing, Middle East energy, also Scorpio. These two signs, Scorpio and Sagittarius, represent those ages and times. So Cancer, very much France because of cheese. I could consider France to be Leo rising Cancer because of all the cheese products, and Cancer also represents the people, and Capricorn with its, you know, England is under the sign of Capricorn. That's why we all have that stiff upper lip, that purity, and that's what Jupiter wants to kill, that inner discipline and purity and everything that's English, and that will be squashed with the fascism that spreads across Europe and will come into England. But first there's going to be a big clean up in England, definitely over these next 7 years. And then England, I would imagine, would remain a private banking elite hangout, whereas Jerusalem will become, Palestine will become capital of the Middle East. And, you know, Israel was always just a fake place, just that the poor Jewish people will be victims again. You know, obviously the Palestine people have been the biggest victims on the planet for the past, you know, for all the endurance of this, what they've been going through. But in the end, the aim is to bring Palestine back, as in, you know, we'll be under that energy of Iran. Okay, so let's go back to these pictures. Here's Barber the elephant. Barbar is Barber, you know, the sultans, and he represents taking an untamed animal and domesticating it. We've all been domesticated with democracy, and we're about to lose all that. This is the flag of where I live. This is the lamb about to be swallowed by the red dragon. The last horseman. France represents the cock. This is in The Little Prince. This is half of the wheel. That's 42 again. That's the Alpha Omega. An elephant, a snake swallowing an elephant. So, you know, Barbar. So again, these are the four corners, 64. That's why Windows has got megabytes 32 and 64, half and 4. From binary to quadruple, we're going to be divided even more. And now this is very telling. We've got the 5 Venus, and this is to represent the 5 ages of the different Mariannes. So we're going to be led now into the 5th Republic. And this is the end of a Venus cycle. Now, when I say that we're very much in a birthing process, when you look at the last retrogrades of Venus, Venus makes, can we see her? I'll open a new page. Venus. Flower of life. So Venus makes this rounded 5-petaled flower, and she retrogrades about nearly every 2 years, sometimes twice in 1 year. I've just had a look back actually over her retrogrades, and we have I've looked at 2012 to 2025 at the different signs she retrogrades in on her way to look for a pattern. Very significant we had double Sagittarius in 2013 and 14. Then we had over Regulus, the feet, the Sphinx, the gates into the age we're going into. Leo is opposite Aquarius. Then in 2017 and 2018, she had her retrograde So we've just had in Virgo, and before it was in Pisces. So 2017 and 18 was really closing the Pisces Virgo age. And the next one, so we just had the 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness of Virgo, going backwards from Libra into Virgo. That was in October of 2018. And the next flower petal is going to be in Sagittarius. So that will, you know, everything happening now will feed that loop that it will make in 2021, which will be therefore very much the end of the birthing process from 2012 to now. You know, a lot of us have been on that journey of waking up and finding our true paths, our true missions. And some people aren't quite there yet, but a lot of us had to get there to give birth, to be ready to catch any of the souls still ready to escape the web. Okay, let's go back. So you see, this is very much the, also we've got the Moroccan pact, which is the pointed pentagram, which is Lucifer. You know, Venus rules Taurus and Venus rules Libra. And Taurus, it's feminine, and in Libra, it's masculine. But we've been told the inverse. You know, Taurus has been made male, female has been made, Libra has been made female, and it's all inversed. Okay, back to Petronella. Petronelle, you see, there's the Marianne with the one tit, same as Lucifer. So this one's got two tits, and all the other ones have got one tit. Fate merged, Twin Peaks, last petal. Mary Poppins, the umbrella, very important. There's half of a wheel, never becoming whole. And this is the spin of the gypsy. This is the one who knows how to weave, like Tesla. Tesla is a big trick. That's why we have now Elon Musk with Tesla cars as well. Tesla is the man trying to weave when only, you know, Charlotte's Web is female. Okay, there's more. There's other important points on this Venus. Something I wrote here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3. Now, what was I working out? Yes, I see what I was doing. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 plus 5 is 9. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 giving us the 3, 6, 9 of Tesla. Well, I explain it there. Once I caught a fish alive. 2, 3, 5 for Fibonacci code. Yeah, that's the sequence of Fibonacci. It's always 2 plus 3 makes 5, 3 plus 5 makes 8, etc., etc. But it's lineal. There's only so far that a material. This is how we are spun to have a material experience. Once we see through this, we can come back to spirit again. Fibonacci flower of life is the path of Venus, Amiga, Libra, LIBER 777 equals 21. Well, there you go. This next, oh, well, there you go. It will be during the next petal of 2021, age ender 21, that this Luciferian system will be fully in swing. Age ender 21, yeah, is the fourth corner. 3, 6, 9, 12, yeah, that's for us. That's they're bringing in the new astrology with the 13th sign. The 13th sign is that inner place that we should have found ourselves. We can't, you know, we're artificially being divided again and again. The wheel used to be 8, like the pirate's wheel. The binary cross didn't exist. The mutable, This has been our experience of these past 12,000 years to discover what it is to have a reflection of the male until we find that male within us. And if we're men, same thing, we have to find that female within us. Europe Pisces, yeah. Europe Pisces, that's the 12th house, Europe Pisces. You need the four corners, continents, realms to spin the whole Trinity home, up the 7 ladder of our chakras and into the heart. When we spin, we become the external spiral. The Trinity becomes 1 again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let him go again. So, you know, who's going to get caught? Who's going to get let go? 10 also represents X, that crossover, binary mutable of the pirates, code 322, skull and bones, and we saw that picture was 233, that's just this backwards, before 33, crucifixion, crossover, or self-merged 32nd grace, or artificial 23, DNA, flesh trap, Twin Peaks, when I am 64. Now this was about the cock. Yes, something I found out, very interesting. There's that cock, the French cock, taking over the female, the end of the female. You know, in this artificial overlay, once we get it, there's nothing to fear. We've already saved our inner female, and our inner male have merged as one. This is just for the people who haven't got it and who are going to live this artificially. Abracadabra. It's a cock, Mercury, when we have merged the 4 to become 1, or it's done artificially. Saturn, the true ruler of the Twin Peaks, Aquarius and Saturn, when we become gold. There will be no need for the sun and the moon in the kingdom of Jerusalem. But we don't, you know, people who don't get it will be ruled by a Saturn controlled dictator, and he's very cruel. He harvests all those who don't get it. And you know, we live as a collective. We can't, you know, until everybody gets it, we will have to keep experiencing this, and it's a slow process, I know. This is to help our grandchildren through. Okay, takes us back to the same pictures. But there was another one very important. Now this is very important with Baba. To give you an idea. Baba black sheep. Baba. That's Vlad. You know, it's not even hidden. This is a relation of Prince Charles. Transylvania. Okay. Up. We're living the purge at the moment. We're going to go through this artificial purge. We are purged at the end of the cycle in every age until we get through the looking glass. Through the root chakra, Mars. Well, everyone's going to have their chance now because Mars is about to go into Aries. And Uranus, they will be conjunct, so this is when it's going to happen. Through the root chakra, Mars hits Saturn, the third eye, and make it home to Venus, the heart alone. That is the wheel of the fortune, when the sun and the moon become one, and there is no need for them, for your lamp is lit. The hero is the sun that completes the cycle from lead to gold. To purge, to rid of whatever is impure or undesirable, cleanse, purify, to rid, clear, or free, to purge a political party or disloyal members, to clear of imputed guilt or ritual uncleanliness. This has just, Grand Central Station has just put this up, and we've got Taurus and Aries, which is William, Taurus I will, Aries I am, will I am, you know, so we may see William coming to the throne as well. Okay, let's go back to the astrology. So this is what's happening tomorrow. We're preparing to end. We've had 18 months to reflect between this Cancer, Capricorn, cardinal energy, and now the North, Rahu and Ketu below are going to move into Sagittarius and Gemini. And as Pluto and Saturn are conjunct there, it's going to be very, very intense. It's going to be very intense for people on the mutable cross. You know, if you're either a Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo, or Gemini, you're going to start playing with fire, and it's your time to purge. All of us, if you cannot become gold if you haven't purged. It really is time to detach from belief programs. This is the last push, and then next year Jupiter will come into Sagittarius, and as Uranus will be in Aries, making this, you know, this big trine to Sagittarius. It's going to be massive changes. This is all the last people who haven't jumped off Noah's Ark. This is your time. You're really going to be pushed to it. But it's also going to be lots of tricks and duality and binary things going on to trick us. Okay, the next eclipse on the 21st is a lunar eclipse. That means that this time it's more about our emotional bodies touching this Rahu in Cancer, and it's going to be touching more about our inner body and our inner temple, and really, are we able to love ourselves, to nurture ourselves, to have that deep feminine love, and this is the people over the world wanting to look after themselves, to detach from the government. Are they able to come up here? Are they going to be, how stung are they going to be with this inconjunct line between the moon and the kiss of Judas? It's all happening in that unconscious, mystical realm of, normally this is Pisces, the 12th house, but it's under the energy of Scorpio, so it's underground, it's a sting, it's between our desires and our hearts, and it's, you know, there's still that Neptune in, so, you know, people will be pushed very much to want to do what's the right thing for themselves, what's right for the people. And this is working in the two ways. Those of us who've got what's going on will be ever working in our unconscious for the collective unconscious. And those of us who haven't got it will be storming towards, on the yellow brick road, straight into this worldwide fascism and the end of, you know, Europe, and this mass chaos that we're going to be living with no control over immigration. Pisces, Mars is still in Pisces, Uranus has just hit Aries now. And what else didn't I talk about? Another big thing, yeah, on the 8th of March we have Women's Day and something, but that can be for another video. Yes, that's another thing I need to take you to, and it should be here. That's about the G set. Now this, I wanted to talk about the roundabouts in France. All roundabouts are about Venus because of her round circles that she makes, the flowers. Venus rules all round shapes. It's the curves, the femininity, it's that roundness. Okay, well, I can't find that post, but so this is all happening in the 7th house. I spoke about everything else that you need to know from yesterday. So this is the last eclipse between Cancer and Capricorn, and it's, you know, this is our chance. The eclipse of tomorrow is really detaching from these fake paternal figures of this patriarchal rule, and it could be that swing into those, you know, who will go more and more into the fake feminism. But this is meant to be finding your inner female. You know, this is also very destructive. This can be very destructive for the people, because the moon represents the people. Rahu is, if people haven't learnt their lesson, if they're not standing in their temple, Rahu will break, you know, break down your temple. It could be something to do with water. We could see stuff going on with water because of this, or quite literally within the waters of your own body. Before this 7th of March, when they're going to hit, Rahu will hit Gemini. So Gemini is here and Sagittarius is here. Okay, I think I've added everything I had to add. I'm bound to think of other things I didn't talk about. We've spoken about the birthing process. We've pretty much spoken about everything, I think. So sending all my love. Bye.